Hello, crafty friends, and welcome to the Prima Marketing channel. I'm Adrienne Boese, also known as Alice Scraps Wonderland. Today, I'm sharing this sweet little poppy vignette that I created using elements from the Return to Wonderland collection designed by the Three Girls Tale. As always, you can find all of the Prima supplies used listed in the description box below for you. Now, let's get into the tutorial. The Return to Wonderland collection has both paper flower poppies that are just stunning, plus poppy ephemera, and we'll be using both in this project today. The vignette box itself is a recycled Brie box that is made of sturdy paperboard. First, we are going to start by altering a mold. I've created my mold using resin from the deck of cards mold from the Lost in Wonderland collection. If you don't have this mold, don't worry. You just want one from Prima that offers a bit of architectural or flourish texture, as this mold will become part of the background. Start by painting your mold with Finn's clear gesso to prime it. Then set this aside to dry as we work on painting the Brie box. We're going to make a custom mix of several of Finn's impasto paints, starting with a bit of the poppy red and some of the raspberry pink. I'm mixing these paints up on a craft mat with a palette knife. I want this to be a little closer to the orange-red color of the poppies in the collection, so I add a bit of the lemon peel impasto paint and mix the paint up again. Remember that as your paint dries, the color will deepen slightly, but I think this is a nice variation of the color of the paper poppies. Start by painting the sides of the Brie box inside and outside. We'll be adding some papers to the inside and the back, so you don't need to paint the entire box, but make sure that you get into the crease where the sides meet the bottom of the box. While the box dries, return to the mold and paint it with Finn's Raven Black Sparks acrylic paint. Once that is painted, set it aside to dry again. In the meantime, let's work on the paper backgrounds. Cut 2 black cardstock circles and 2 pieces of patterned paper from the Return to Wonderland 6x6 paper pad. Let's add a little bit more of the poppies to these backgrounds by using the poppy stickers from the sticker roll. I like to cut mine out with the backing to play around with the placement before I stick and commit. You can see that I'm using the mold to help figure out my placement here as well. Once you're happy with the composition, apply the stickers and cut any excess off. Then stick the patterned paper backgrounds to the black cardstock with some adhesive. Using that same adhesive, add the backgrounds to the inside and the back side of your vignette box. One final step to prepare the mold is dry brushing a bit of the snow white impasto paint on it. I like to reuse plastic packaging to stick a bit of paint on and to dab my brush on. Then add a bit of white to the edge of the vignette box and to 2 of the poppy flowers from the Return to Wonderland collection. We are going to make this a hanging box, so using an awl or other sharp pointy tool, punch a small hole into the top of the side of the vignette box. I'm going to be using some embroidery floss that matches this Pom Pom trim I'll be adding later, but you can use any floss or string you like. Cut a length that will allow you to hang the box, plus a little excess for working room. Using a tapestry needle will help with this next part. Thread the needle with the 6-strand floss or one side of your string. Bring your string or floss up through the wooden bead, then back down through it, keeping that little loop you've made. Re-thread the tapestry needle so both ends of your floss or string go through the eye of the needle, still keeping that loop by wrapping it around a finger so you don't lose it. Once the needle is threaded, take it through the top of the hole you've made in the box. Before tying off the end, place a bottle of glitter into the loop so you don't lose it. After tying off the end, trim the excess and then remove the glitter bottle and create a knot above the wooden bead. I needed to double knot mine to keep it from falling off. Now, let's move on to decorating our vignette. We are going to start by popping the mold up a bit from the background paper. I'm using a strip of 3mm thick foam, but you could also use some cardboard box for this as well. To make sure the foam sticks permanently to the back of the resin mold, I add a bit of hot glue between the mold and the foam. Place your mold slightly to one side of your vignette box using your foam adhesive, hot glue, or a gel medium. I decided that now is a good time to add the Pom Pom trim. Starting on the bottom of the box, apply the trim with a bit of hot glue, working in small sections until you go all the way around the box. I think some other pretty options here would be a border mold or pearl trim. To shape the poppies to bring them to life, fold it in half and roll it between your thumb and forefinger. This will help fluff the petals. I always like to dry fit so I have a chance to play with things before gluing down elements. So here you see me playing with a few different ephemera options. Once you are happy with the composition, use some foam adhesive or bits of cardboard to pop up your poppy ephemera. I'm tucking a piece under the white paper poppy off to the side, as well as on top of the mold, tucking them under the paper flowers. I use hot glue to attach all of the paper flowers and any ephemera that is being placed on top of the mold. You can also use a gel medium or tacky glue for this. Next, pop in one of the roses from the Return to Wonderland collection. Now let's move to the top. I've got a printed Best By date on the box that is still showing through my paint, but I'm going to cover it up using sticker roll poppy stickers and flowers. I'm just using some items on my desk to help hold this circular box in place while I work on the top. I chose the sprig of tiny flower buds from the pack with the poppies and more of the roses. I shaped the sprig of flowers and dry fit to see what of that printed date is still not covered on the box. Add some of the poppy stickers from the sticker roll to the box where needed or where they look best, and trim off any excess. Trim off the end of the flower sprig using heavy-duty scissors or wire cutters. I also bent it into a U-shape to help hide the end of it. Glue your sprig in place, then add a rose and some ephemera to your embellishment cluster on top of your box. I added another poppy sticker to the side of the box just to really amp up the level of poppies. And I couldn't help myself, so I added a few more pieces of poppy ephemera inside the vignette box. Let's talk about the finishing touches. No project is complete without a little sparkle, in my humble opinion. To keep with the color scheme, place a few of the dark coral colored gems from the postcards from Paradise Say It in crystals onto your project. Where I live, it's really dry, so to ensure that my gems don't fall off several months down the road, I use a small dot of liquid adhesive to help hold them securely. The glitter is making a comeback, but this time we are actually going to add glitter to the project. Start by brushing a small amount of Finn's soft matte gel onto your red poppy and any red roses. Then sprinkle on this dark magenta glitter from the Crimson Glitter set. I used the soft matte gel to add a few peach-colored beads that match the Pom Pom trim I used, but this is totally optional. Finally, use your favorite liquid adhesive to add a couple of memory hardware pearls to some of your paper flowers. And that's it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this little poppy vignette made from an upcycled Brie Box and that it inspires you to craft with the Return to Wonderland collection. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to get more amazing inspiration and content from the Prima design team. And until next time, happy crafting!